Well, we do need to be alert today and over the next few days when we're talking about heat and humidity in the temps that we're talking about.
Yeah, this is some dangerous heat and humidity, and you and I were talking earlier about our pets, because I don't think we can reinforce that end of this enough. If it's too hot for you to touch the pavement, it is too hot to walk your pets outside.
What was the degree for the
155 degrees for asphalt.
That's insane.
And we're going to talk about that. I've got that back in my forecast here in a second, because it's not only us as humans that are impacted by the heat and humidity, our elderly friends and neighbors, those with respiratory illnesses, and our four-legged friends as well are impacted when the heat and humidity gets this high. Because of where temperatures and heat index values are forecast to go over the next 2 to 3 days, our forewarned weather alert continues all the way through Wednesday, as heat index values could go as high as 103 to 105 all the way through Wednesday. Our first 90-degree day of the year yesterday on Saturday, 92 degrees for a daytime high at Metro Airport, well above where we should be for this time in mid to late June, but not a record. The record still stands at 96 degrees yesterday. I am forecasting at least one day over the next 3 to 4 that we will break a record high over at Metro Airport. Because of the heat and humidity, the National Weather Service has upgraded the heat advisory to an extreme heat warning for Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties. The rest of the region, that heat advisory, both advisories and warnings go until 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, as we're not going to get much relief from the heat and humidity until we get the middle of the week on Wednesday. Tower cam from Windsor looking across the river into downtown Detroit. Lots of sunshine and a little bit of high cloud cover early this morning. 79 degrees here in Detroit, 76 over in Ann Arbor, 78 in Pontiac, and already up to 81 this morning down in Monroe. But once you factor in the humidity, heat index values, or what it feels like, are well into the 80s across the region, and these numbers are going to warm up fast as we go from late this morning and into the afternoon. High pressure down over Virginia and North Carolina controlling the forecast. It's going to anchor itself there through the first part of next week and act as our heat pump for our first heat wave, drawing up that warm Gulf moist air right into the eastern half of the United States, and that is what's going to send our high temperatures at least 10 degrees or better above average all the way into the middle of next week. The heat risk for our Sunday into the major range and going into that purple, which is the extreme range, down over portions of Lenawee and Monroe County, and then that extreme range moves to the northeast into Washtenaw and Wayne County on Monday and holds there on Tuesday before we start to get a little bit of relief from the heat and humidity from Wednesday and heading into Thursday. Close to a record high. Forecasting 97 today. The record is 98. I am forecasting a record high for Monday. 98, my forecast high. The record 95. Close on Tuesday. Forecasting 95. The record is 97, and not anywhere close by Wednesday. The record is 104, and I'm forecasting 90 degrees by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon. But once you factor in that humidity, heat index values today all the way through Tuesday in excess of 103 to 105 degrees, and still into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees by the time we get to the middle of the week on Wednesday. So for today, 70s and 80s out the door, but we also have to keep in mind our four-legged friends. It's too hot to trot outside, especially when the asphalt temperature gets above 155 degrees. If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for our four-legged friends to be outside as well. It's going to be a scorcher today, 70s to 80s this morning, on our way into the upper 90s to near 100 degrees by the time we get to this afternoon. And looking ahead to the Ford fireworks tomorrow night, not much relief from the heat and humidity. Mid-90s by 6 o'clock in the evening, and we only drop into the upper 80s by the time the fireworks go off around 9 to 10 tomorrow evening. But we do bring some thunderstorms into the forecast starting on Tuesday, and those scattered storm chances go all the way through the end of the week and into the first half of next weekend.